Hello, welcome to Cory Reads. I am Cory, and today we are reading chapter 11 of the first book of Moses called Genesis. And that is covering the one language in the world, the building of Babel tongues, the building of Babel and the confusion of tongues. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old, and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years, and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years, and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years, and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years, and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years, and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years, and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years, and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after begat Terah 119 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years, and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife Mileh, the daughter of Haran, and father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarah was barren, and she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarah his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came to Haran, and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Okay, so chapter 11 talks about Babel. Basically, at this time, everyone all spoke one language, which makes sense because they're just Noah and his 3 sons were the only people there. And they built the city of Babel, tried to build a tower to reach heaven. And they all spoke one language. Everybody was getting along. God came down and said that he didn't want them to do whatever they understood. It said they all they began, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. So God came down and he spread the people all over the planet Earth and gave them all different languages so they couldn't understand each other. So basically, at this point, this is the explanation why the people in different parts of the world all had different languages, is because of this. And then it goes on and talks on the children and the generations down to at the end where we have Lot, Abram, and Haran and Terah, and all this at this point is leading us into chapter 12. So that is pretty much chapter 11. So that is it. Thanks for listening. But one other quick note, Babel is the name of the tower when they all spoke the same language, which is why it's called Babel, is the learning program. And the Babel fish in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Babel fish, because it allows you to learn or to understand all the languages, is all tied back to chapter 11 of Genesis. Fun facts.